types of sharing is first copying. This allows you to copy and paste plans from one teacher account to another and edit them independently. You can adjust the date range individually as needed, but this is really similar to making a copy on a copy machine. If you copy another teacher's plans, that you are now working with a copy of the plans. That copy of the plans belongs to you. You can make any changes you want. You can move it around, you can edit it, you can delete it, and none of that will impact the original teacher who you copied from because you're now just working with a copy that you own. Just like if you make a copy on a copy machine with a piece of paper and then you draw all over that copy you made, it won't impact the original document. It's the same thing. With copying, you're just making that one-time copy of the plans exactly as they look in that moment, and then that copy belongs to you to do whatever with it as you please. The second method is called replica, and this allows you to connect two or more teacher accounts and actively share a class. This means that any changes made to the shared class will appear in both accounts, and everything in the shared class will appear the exact same way for everyone who's sharing that class. So in replica, basically, one teacher or more is making their class an exact replica of what the other teacher's class looks like, which means that any lessons or changes or edits automatically appear the exact same way for everyone. If your colleague makes changes to a replica class, you'll be able to see the changes they made the next time you sign in. That will just appear automatically. A couple of things about replica is that because everyone's class looks exactly the same, that means that all of the lessons in that shared class will appear on the same date for everyone. There's no way to teach like the same lessons on different dates in a replica class because it will appear on the exact same dates for everyone. We also have our view link feature, which allows you to share plans with anyone that doesn't have a Planbook account, like substitutes, students and families, anyone who you want to see your plans, but they don't actually use Planbook themselves and they don't need to make edits to any of your lesson plans. So this is view only access, and it allows you to generate a URL that anyone can click on to be able to see the plans you've given them permission to see. So when we're copying, when we're doing any of these sharing methods, we're going to use a couple of different terms that you're going to become very familiar with. And that is the source teacher and the target teacher. So the source teacher is the teacher who has the plans that they would like to share with someone else. And the target teacher is the person who is receiving those shared plans. So in copying, the source teacher is the person who has the plans. The target teacher is the one who's copying them from the source teacher. In replica, the source teacher is the person who has the class, and then everyone else's class will become a replica of that class, and all of those people are target teachers. But you'll hear us say source teacher and target teacher quite a lot, and that's just what that means, that the source teacher is the person who has the plans and wants to share them. The target teacher is the one who is receiving those shared plans. So going right into copying, copying allows you to copy and paste plans from one teacher account to another and edit them completely independently. So any changes you make to copied lessons will not appear for anyone else. Those copied lessons belong to you, and you can change them however you want without impacting any other teachers. You can adjust the date ranges for copying as needed. So when you are copying, the first thing that you're going to do as the source teacher, because again, we'll have the source teacher and the target teacher, is the source teacher will set up a sharing permission to allow the target teacher to copy from them. And to do that, they'll click user settings in the top right corner, and then they'll click on sharing options. And then under collaborate permissions here, they'll click add, which will allow them to then enter the target teacher's email address. It will start with it'll start with a title, which can literally be anything. That's just to help you keep different permissions straight if you have multiple. And then they'll enter the target teacher's email address, which will allow them to give the target teacher permission to copy their plans. After that, you'll select the classes you would like to give the target teacher permission to copy. And you're going to choose for copying, you'll choose view only permission for all sections. You can also choose view edit, and then you'll save that. So now we can see our permission appearing there for our co-teacher. And now essentially with copying, the source teacher's work is done. So the next thing is we're going to switch to the target teacher, which is the teacher that is receiving the copied plans. And here is how the target teacher will receive those plans once permission has been set up. So the target teacher is going to click on the copy button in the top right corner of their plans page. And then you'll see we have two columns. We have copy to and copy from. So under copy from is where we'll select exactly what we would like to copy from that source teacher. So from the type, that should say lessons, and then we'll use the from dropdown to select our source teacher's email address. Oh, oops. There we go. I'm so sorry. It is not letting me adjust the video at all. That's okay. Technical difficulties. So once again, when we are the target teacher, we're going to go to that copy page. And then we have our two columns, copy from on one side and copy to on the other side. And then we will choose what we would like to copy, which is lessons. And then using the from dropdown, we'll select the source teacher's email address. And then from there, we'll select the school year we would like to copy lessons from, the class. And then we'll see all of the lessons in that class for the full school year appear here under copy from in a large list. You can also use that little caret symbol to expand each lesson and kind of see what's actual content is in each lesson instead of just the lesson title. And then the next thing that you're going to do is go over to that copy to side. And this is choosing where you're going to put those copied lessons. So you'll use the class dropdown to select the class you'd like to copy those lessons into. And then you'll select insert starting at and enter the date where you'd like those copied plans to be inserted in your own lessons. After that, you'll click copy lessons. And then you'll be able to see all of those copied lessons appearing in the list of your own lessons now, starting on the date that you entered in your class. You can also see those shared lessons appearing here on your plans page. And those will appear starting at the date that we selected, which in this case was September 18th. So we will now open the Q&A. If you have any questions about copying, this is the time. The Q&A is now open and feel free to ask those. We'll be happy to help. All right.
Oh, we got one.
Here we go. There we go. Okay, so if we copy and what if we copy and paste over our own lessons? So Lisa, great question. When you copy, if you choose that you would like to insert those copied lessons on a particular date, it will actually shift all of your lessons forward to make room for those copied lessons. So it won't overwrite or delete your lessons that are already in there. It will just kind of bump them to make room for the copied lessons to slot right in. Catherine says, if I share with my admin, they don't need an account. So, Catherine, if your admin has an admin account, they'll be able to see your lessons automatically. Just they'll already be in their admin account. If your admin does not have an account, then we would recommend our view link feature, which allows you to just send a link to your admin that they can click on and then see your plans. So, if your admin if you're the only teacher at the school that uses Planbook, then your admin really doesn't need an account and you can just send them a view link. If your admin has, 20 teachers at the school who use Planbook, then that would be a case where it makes a little more sense for the admin to have an admin account where all of the plans are in one place instead of having each individual teacher try to share with them. Any other questions? All right. It seems pretty quiet still. If you are typing, you can ask that question during the next round of Q&A, and we'll go ahead and move forward. So the next sharing option that we have is Replica, which is an extremely popular sharing option because this is our most collaborative sharing option. This one is really great for co-teachers or teaching teams or grade levels who plan together, anyone who works super, super closely together and wants to be doing the exact same thing. Replica is perfect for you because it makes your plans an exact replica of each other. So this connects 2 or more teacher accounts in one class, allowing you to edit lessons together. Any changes made to the lessons in the shared class will automatically appear in both accounts. The next time the other teacher signs in, they'll just automatically see your changes appear in the shared class, and lessons will appear on the same dates for both people. So when you're ready to set up Replica, if this sounds like the right method for you, then what you're going to do as we'll start again with the source teacher. So the source teacher is the person who owns this class, who has the lessons already, if there are any lessons already. So what the source teacher is going to do is they are going to update their class permissions. So they're going to go into classes and they're going to hover over a class and click edit. And once they're in that class, they are going to go into collaborate and select view edit and click save. And then from there, their class is updated. So the source teacher in Replica will always set their class to say view edit. And now I'm going to have Sam take over here for the rest of Replica.
Yes. So continuing on as the source teacher, there is one last step that the source teacher has to do, and that is create a teacher key. So they will navigate to their user settings in the upper right-hand corner. And Sarah, if you want to go ahead and play that video. Once they select user settings, they're going to navigate down to the sharing options. And this time we're going to select collaborate class replicas. Once we select that, we can enter in a teacher key. This is of the source teacher's choosing. So any word, phrase, number, something that's easy for the other teacher, the target teacher, to type in, because they have to type this in exactly as it is there. So try to avoid spaces. We select save. And this is what the target teacher will use to set up Replica with their classes. So as the source teacher, once you've selected your teacher key and have selected view edit for your classes, you are done as the source teacher. The next step comes for the target teacher or teachers that are setting up Replica. So as the target teacher, you will set up Replica in your own account. So now we're the target teacher. We will go to the classes page. We can see here we're hovering over the classes to show you something. We'll show you when Replica set up. We're going to select classes, hover over the class we'd like to set up Replica with, and select edit. Under collaborate, where it says none right now, we would select that as replica. So remember, we're the target teacher in this situation here. So we'll select replica, we'll select get classes. And this is where we'll enter in the source teacher's email, like they use for their Planbook account. So that exact email and that exact teacher key that they created. Next, we'll select show classes. We'll be able to select the school year, as well as the class that has that view edit permission. We will now select the check mark in the upper right-hand corner to save that permission. When we go back into the class to view, we should see replica, we should see the teacher's email, the class, the year, all of that. And when we navigate back to plans, if we hover over the class we just set replica up with, we'll notice there's a little R there now in the class title. This is to let us know that this class is replicating another class. It is set to replica, which is important for you to note when you're planning there. And there's a tip there if lessons are not appearing correctly. So for example, the source teacher has different headings or has a lot more information that the target teacher is not getting. We always recommend comparing the lesson layouts. That's going to be found in the user settings in the upper right-hand corner. This is great for any type of sharing. If you copied plans and things didn't copy over, or you set up replica and things aren't showing correctly, always check the lesson layouts to compare and make sure text box 1 is the same for the source teacher as it is for the target teacher, etc. there with the lesson layout. I will now open the Q&A. Any questions about setting up replica?
Replica is definitely one of our most popular sharing options because it is the most collaborative. So I find really often when teachers want to really actively share lessons, Replica is kind of what they have in mind. Oh, Elisa says, do you have to set up collaborate permissions first and then replica permissions? Great question. So the source teacher needs to create a teacher key, but that is all the permission that is needed. So you don't need to do collaborate permissions at all. That actually only applies to copying and linking, which is a lesser used sharing option. So if you're doing replica, you can just totally ignore the collaborate permission section. All you need is those individual class permissions and the teacher key. It can be a little bit confusing because the permissions for everything are set up in different places. But with replica, yeah, it's not collaborate permissions. You can just skip right over that.
And Lisa says, I think I've been using link lessons instead of replica, and that is where I'm failing to share with co-teachers. Linking allows you to share, but yes, if you want those updates to be seen in both accounts, edits, changes, things like that, then replica might be a better sharing option for you and your co-teachers.
Yes, linking works sort of similarly to replica, but it is a little bit more work, honestly. So we typically recommend replica in all cases where you want to share really collaboratively, unless it's a really special case. Like, for example, if you need to teach the lessons on different days because you have really
Mhm.
schedules, that's one where we would recommend linking, but we try to save you that extra work by going with replica in most cases. All right. It still seems pretty quiet, so we can go ahead and move forward. Oh, Christina has a question. Christina says, will it show who edits when we work on it, like a Google Doc or shared Excel sheet? No, not at this time, although that's a great idea for a new
Right.
feature.
Mm-hmm.
The change, what'll happen is essentially you'll just see the updated lesson appear in your account. Every time you sign in, you'll just like the newest version of the lesson is what will show up in your account, but you won't be able to see tags to show exactly who made those changes.
And we're going to move on now to our view links. View links are a great way to share plans with those who may not have a Planbook account. So we think substitutes, parents, families, students, admin who don't have an account, things like that. This gives a view access only. So just a view of your Planbook.
And I was drinking water, but there we go.
So the view links are found in that user setting under the sharing option. So very similar to how we set up copying and replica. We will navigate to the user settings in the upper right-hand corner. Whenever this video wants to start playing. There we go. So we'll navigate to user settings. We will select the sharing options. And from there, we can see we have view already, view students, view substitutes. You could add an additional view profile. In this case, we'll go ahead and add one there. We can give it a view profile name. So this one we're going to title sharing. When you are ready to set up the rest of your view link, you start by entering in a view key. So very similar to that key we were using with replica there. You're going to create it, your own code there. You also get to pick the specific items that you wish to be seen in this view link. So you can toggle off anything there. So if you don't want the Google events to show or, strategies, assessments, things like that, grades, you can select the items that are viewed as well as the ones that will not be viewed when using the view link. And the same exact thing for classes. You can select all the classes to be viewed from the view link, or you can deselect any classes that you don't feel are necessary to be viewed, lunch, for example, PE, things like that. So again, you have that ability there. You also get to set the view range. So you can do all prior weeks to all future weeks. You could have it just set to current day. You've got a lot of options there with the view range as well, which is great for whoever you're sharing with. And then we will select save. So the great thing about view links is you kind of set it and forget it. So the next step we do once we have that view link saved, we will select the little export button there. It looks like the box with the arrow down, the download button. It will send to our downloads. We'll open that up. And essentially, we have links for each of those view links. So the first one there is a view link for all the classes that were selected, but it does also provide you individual view links for each individual class. So you could also have one shared just for ELA, just for math, or you could share the view link that has all the classes available. That would be that first one there. And when you type it in, when you copy and paste it, you get this view link of your plan book. So it's, as you set it and forget it. Once you download it, it's live, it's active, it's good to go. The only time you ever need to re-download or share is if you update any of those permissions there, then you would have to re-download it and reshare it again. But you can, it's a great way to share with subs. You can email it to your sub. It can live on your smartboard, bookmarked there. You can open it up. Everyone can view your plans when you're out. So just a great way to kind of keep everyone in the know and save yourself time throughout the year with sharing those plans. And I will go ahead and turn on the Q&A. Any questions about view links?
Just like Sam said, view links are really great for sharing with anybody who you want to be able to see your plans, but they don't have a Planbook account and they don't need to make any changes, that you can just create that link once and then send it out to whoever needs it. And then anybody can click on it at any time throughout the school year to see your plans without you having to do anything.
Yeah, so it can live like on your teacher website, on, if you're using Parent Square, Seesaw, things like that, like it could just live there so that the students or families can access it whenever they need to.
Same with subs. I love using this feature for substitutes too,
Mhm.
because you can just send it off to your sub and then you don't have to worry about like printing a document or anything. You could send it off to your sub and then make changes to your lesson plans last minute, and the sub will just be able to see those automatically. You don't have to worry about having everything perfectly completed the minute that you give them access. If you don't want to, it will be ready, during the school day when they need it. Seems pretty quiet. Sam, do you think we're safe to go ahead and move forward?
Yes, we can continue on. That is our last section though of the sharing. So we appreciate all of you for being here with us. So we'll leave the Q&A open just in case some of you are still typing. But we do want you to check out our YouTube channel there where we post all of these live recordings. We have past sessions there as well. Our email, of course, and our phone number there. So please feel free to reach out if you have any questions along the way. If we didn't cover something you were hoping that we would get to today, please feel free to email us. Our help center there also has wonderful articles, scribes, videos of pretty much how to do anything within your Planbook account. So always check that out. And then props to our socials there. Give us a follow. We post lots of fun things, giveaways throughout the year. So always check us out there as well.
Thank you so much, everybody, for being here today.